Welcome back to Unhinged and Loud. I'm Amber.
And I'm Esther. And this is
where calm meets loud. Today we're kicking off Season 1 Autoimmune 101. And this is episode right here. This is the one I wish someone would have handed me years ago.
Because we're talking about the early signs in autoimmune disease that doctors miss, friends dismiss, and you start convincing yourself are just stress.
But they're not just stress.
And they're not just in your head.
Before we jump into the signs, let's break this down. Autoimmune disease is when your immune system, the system that's supposed to protect you, starts attacking your own body.
And it can attack your thyroid, your lungs, your joints, your skin, your nervous system, your eyes. And there are over 80 known autoimmune diseases.
And women are disproportionately affected. So if you're listening and thinking, why does my body feel like it's turning on me? This episode is for you.
Damn, my body must hate me then.
Because sometimes your labs are normal, but your immune system isn't. And if you ignore the whispers long enough, it starts screaming. Let's start with what people are typing into Google at 2 a.m. Why am I tired all the time, but blood work is normal? Why is my hair falling out, but my thyroid is fine? Why do I feel inflamed everywhere? Is it anxiety or something else? Can autoimmune symptoms come and go?
And if you've ever been told you're fine when you know you weren't,
this is for you. If you're exhausted and no amount of sleep fixes it, if your hair is thinning, if your anxiety feels physical, but your labs keep coming back normal,
this episode might explain what nobody else has. If you search those, you're not dramatic, you're not lazy, you're not crazy.
Not tired, not I need coffee. So sign 1, fatigue that sleep does not fix. So you're not tired, not I need coffee. I'm talking about bone deep exhaustion. You wake up tired, you shower, you need a nap, you run one errand, you're done for the day.
Before my diagnosis, I thought I was lazy. I thought I was depressed. I thought I wasn't disciplined enough. But it wasn't laziness, it was inflammation.
And autoimmune fatigue can feel like your body is carrying bricks inside of it. If sleep doesn't fix it, then that's a red flag. Sign number 2, unexplained hair loss.
Yeah.
So hair coming out in the shower, edges thinning, clumps in the brush. For me, this was one of the first signs of Hashimoto's.
Wow. And for people will say it's stress, but thyroid dysfunction, lupus, and autoimmune disorder, autoimmune conditions can trigger hair loss. If your hair texture changes suddenly, if it's falling out excessively, pay attention. Brain fog is terrifying. That's me. Yep, brain fog. You forget words, you forget focus, you can't focus. You forget the words, you lose track mid-sentence. That's me all the time. I have about 3 assistants and they're all technology gotta remind me, keep me on task.
Yeah, and then people think you're dramatic, but inflammation affects the brain. I remember thinking, why can't I think clearly anymore? And that's not personality, that's neurological inflammation.
Let me talk about this one. Dry eyes isn't just my contact are irritating me. For me, it felt like sandpaper in my eyes, burning redness, light sensitivity. Oh, the light sensitivity. I look like I'm always on something because my eyes squint. Like I can't keep them open at all. This led to my diagnosis.
Sjögren's doesn't just affect eyes, it can affect saliva glands, joints, even lungs.
My lungs are affected. If you constantly need eye drops, if your mouth is always dry, that's not normal. Don't know that.
And sign number 5, unexplained weight gain, Hashimoto's tie-in. This one hit my confidence hard. I was eating the same, working out, doing everything quote unquote right. And the weight kept coming. And that's when I learned about Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
When your thyroid slows down, your metabolism slows down.
And doctors will say, just diet and exercise. But if your TSH and your free T3 and your free T4 and antibodies aren't being checked, you're missing the full picture.
Sign number 6, anxiety that doesn't feel like you. This one is huge. Heart racing, sweating, shaking, and they tell you it's anxiety.
Yeah. But thyroid dysfunction and autoimmune flares can mimic panic attacks. And if your anxiety feels physical and came out of nowhere, get labs done. And sign number 7, joint pain and stiffness. Morning stiffness, swollen fingers, achy knees. Autoimmune disease often attacks connective tissue. If you feel like you're 80 years old at 35, don't ignore that.
Oh, wow. That's nuts.
Sign number 8, random rashes or skin changes. Butterfly rash, psoriasis patches, unexplained hives. Your skin is often the first visible clue of internal inflammation.
God, that is me.
Yeah, mine started when I saw rashes under my arms. I've never gotten a rash a day in my life.
Oh, mine was in the ears. Oh.
Sign number 9, temperature sensitivity. Freezing when everyone else is fine or overheating constantly. Oh my gosh, I'm either sweating or freezing. Thyroid dysfunction plays a major role here.
Yes. Yeah.
Sign number 10, you just know something is off. Always go with your gut instinct. This is the one that nobody talks about. You know your body, and when something feels different, believe yourself.
Yes, medical gaslighting is real. I can't stand it. That's when that's when Loudy comes out. It really does. If your labs are normal, but you feel horrible, push for deeper testing. 100%.
Yes. And what to do next? If you're experiencing multiple symptoms, ask for a full thyroid panel, the TSH, the free T3, the free T4, your thyroid antibodies, which is your TPO and your TGAB, an ANA panel, and your inflammatory markers, which is your CRP and your ESR. But don't forget, your ANA panel can be negative while something is still going on with your body. And my TSH and my ANA panel both came back negative, but both my antibodies and my inflammatory markers were escalated.
Wow, that's crazy.
Autoimmune disease doesn't usually show up loud at first. It whispers. Your immune system isn't supposed to protect you. It identifies threats, viruses, bacteria, and eliminates them.
But in autoimmune disease, the immune system misidentifies your own tissues as the threats.
There are immune cells called T cells and B cells. T cells attack directly. B cells create antibodies. In autoimmune disease, your body creates antibodies against itself.
Chronic inflammation affects energy production, hormones, brain chemistry, and metabolism.
Inflammation doesn't just cause pain, it changes how your body functions. When inflammation increases, it affects neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin regulates the mood. Dopamine regulates motivation. Cortisol regulates the stress. So when inflammation disrupts those, you can feel anxious, foggy, wired, but exhausted.
Facts. That doesn't mean you're mentally unstable. It can mean your immune system is affecting your nervous system.
Yeah, and in Hashimoto's, antibodies attack the thyroid. The thyroid controls your metabolism. Your metabolism controls your energy. And your energy controls everything. So when your thyroid hormone drops, your metabolism starts to slow, your weight starts to increase, your fatigue increases, and your depression increases. And if insulin resistance joins the party, like I do, now we're talking pre-diabetes, exactly what I have.
No, really? Sjögren's immune cells inflates moisture-producing glands. That damages tear ducts production, saliva production, sometimes lung tissue, and that's all me here. It's not dehydration, it's the immune system, immediate gland destruction, which that's different.
Right.
I'm experiencing that right now.
So this isn't sleepy tired, it's bone tired. Inflammation affects mitochondria, less cellular energy. I wasn't lazy, my cells were just inflamed. Then you have your brain fog, which is forgetting your words, you're losing focus. Inflammation impacts neurotransmitters plus your blood flow.
And I thought I was losing my mind.
No. Then you have your hair loss, which is your thyroid dysfunction, and your inflammation impact hair follicles. Then we go to dry eyes, which is your burning, gritty, constant eye drops, which is tied to Sjögren's. Then you have your dry mouth, which I couldn't even accumulate spit. My mouth was so dry, so I was needing water constantly. Then you have your weight changes, your metabolism starts to disrupt, and you have your hormone imbalance. And I thought I was just gaining weight for no reason. Like, I barely even eat and I was gaining weight. And I'm like, what in the world is going on with me?
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yes. Now, then you go on with your anxiety that feels physical. So it's your heart racing, you're sweating, you're shaking. And then this is your inflammatory stress response. Then you go to your joint pain, which is the inflammation inside your joint lining. Then you start having random rashes, immune response showing on skin. Girl, I had them under my arms and it was so painful.
Yes, I got one on my legs. Oh my God, I can't.
Right. And then we have bloating and inflammation, which is gut permeability. Immune activation starts in the gut for many. So when doctors say that you're fine, you start doubting yourself.
Yeah, that is just like this is so much all into take. I'm being honest with you. It's just like wham, wham, wham. Got you in the face, wham. 100.
Right, because I mean, I experienced majority of those.
I've been experiencing these things for many years, like 20 years.
Because, you know, you start having people come up to you and say, oh, it's just premenopause. Oh, it's this. And I'm getting hot flashes and I'm starting to like drink gallons and gallons of water. I have like a 48-ounce bucket of water beside me. And, you know, you start believing just little things people are saying and not even knowing it really is what it is.
Yeah, for real. But then my water intake is so limited because of the scarring of my lungs and stuff. That just trying, and I do have dry mouth. I got my eyes are dried. I don't really produce.
And then my doctor called me today and told me that my blood count, my immunoglobulin A, my complement C3 is all extremely high.
Oh wow!
So she had to call in our urgent hematologist.
Wow.
And I had to request for all these lab tests because she wasn't doing anything.
That's so scary.
Right. And you know, I didn't know exactly what it was, but all I knew is what research I had to do for myself. So when doctors say you're fine, you know, you really start doubting yourself. But I knew something internally wasn't right. So I started Googling symptoms. I started putting puzzle pieces together. And I knew I had autoimmune disease, but the one that kept popping up to me was RA. But come to find out, I had pre-diabetes because my insulin was sky high. But since this has been going on for over a year without any treatment, I now developed Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So that's why it's important.
I mean, it's like you start apologize for just being tired. You honestly do. Like, what's the point?
Right. And I would tell David, I'd be like, touch this right here. Because he thought I was like over exaggerating. Yeah. And, you know, then you start maybe thinking it's just anxiety. But inflammation can mimic anxiety. And that's not weakness. It's biology.
If this sounds like you, here's what you can do. Start a symptom journal. Document patterns. Ask for an ANA. full thyroid panel, a TPO antibodies, inflammatory markers, bring printed symptoms, bring support person. Very important. I cannot emphasize that enough. Bring your support person. You deserve investigation.
Because it seems like if nothing pops out at them, they don't go into full investigation mode because nobody knows your body like you do. So if something's not popping off, that's why you need to request these specific blood tests, because it's not going to show up in just a regular blood test panel. Show up in a regular CBC lab, which is your basophils, your eosinophils, your monocytes, your lymphocytes, your neutrophils. But my absolute lymphocytes is extremely high. Mine was 5,481 cells, and the normal range is 850 to 3,900.
Wow.
And my absolute neutrophils was 7,824. The normal is 1,500 to 7,800.
That's high.
And then my platelet count was 408, and the normal range is 140 to 400. And then my hematocrit, my value was 50.9%, and the normal range is 35.9 to 46.0. And then my hemoglobin was 17.8, and the normal range is 11.7 to 15.5. And then my red blood cell count, the normal range is 3.80 to 5.10. Mine was 5.61 million uniliters. And then my white blood cell count was 14.2. The normal range is 3.8 to 10.8.
Wow, that's outrageous.
Yes. So that's why she did an emergency. And my immunoglobulin A was 329, and the normal range is 47 to 310. And then my complement component C3C was 232, and the normal range is 83 to 193.
Wow.
And then the Epstein-Barr virus, I was positive for that. The normal range is 21.99, and mine was 393.
Wow.
Yes. And the comprehensive metallic panel, my glucose was 119, and the normal range is 65 to 99. Wow. So you have to know exactly what to ask your doctor for, because they will not test in a regular you need to ask for your iron, but your CBC with differential and without differential is not going to show it, or your BMP, or your just your regular blood test is not going to show it. So you need to know what to ask your doctor for, because I just got a call about this afternoon, girl, and she's like, I just want to let you know that we put in an emergency urgent referral to the hematologist, because and she was telling me what my blood cell counts were, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So you need to know exactly what your body is telling you, because you are not lazy, and basic labs don't tell the full story. So your symptoms are not imaginary, they're communicating with you.
That is like
girl, I was crying just when I woke up and heard that.
That is like, that's a wow. Like, I'm just like,
they're like several hundred, if not thousands over.
Yeah, that's a lot. 100%, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot.
And this is what happens when it goes untreated. For years I've been fighting my doctor to get me to see a rheumatologist. She didn't tell me she could do the rheumatologist panels there. She failed to mention that to me.
Yeah.
But what she did mention is that she would put a referral in for me. Well, my insurance only covers certain rheumatologists. So it put me at a stopping point, because I had to wait a year to see the rheumatologist, and that wasn't until I was waiting from April to October of this year, so over a year. and finally I got seen on a cancellation list. So now I've waited from last April to this June.
Well, that's what bothers me though, because what happens when and that's the whole thing, is that there's not many specialists anymore to handle all. And what happened is you have a whole year dealing with this thing messing up your body.
Right. So it turned from pre-diabetes, when I could just have gotten the insulin under control. And if she would have told me, she could have done rheumatologist panels. I could have known I had the Epstein-Barr virus. I could have known that my thyroid was going crazy. I could have known that she could have tested for Sjögren's antibodies or immunoglobulins, or, you know, whatever the fact. So it's important to talk to your doctor to see what they can do. And, you know, I had to do all this stuff on my own and figure out what was going on in my body, because there was nobody, you know, around me at the time to know what to tell them or what I could do, or, you know, anything, until I linked up with you and knew, you know, this was something different.
Yeah, but I mean, it had to be a reason for us to link up, because that is just...
I mean, imagine if I went on and went another year or June or July to even, because as soon as I saw CRP level and it was at 17.4, which is your C-reactive protein, which is your inflammation marker, you know, I started looking that up to see what was going on, because this is 17.5. And then everything else was normal. But then when I went back, my insulin was high, my hemoglobin was high, my thyroid antibodies were high, everything was high after a year. And my peroxidase antibodies, my thyroglobulin antibodies, I mean, everything just escalated because I had to wait so long to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, and by that time, your body's already destroying its own self.
Exactly.
And that's what's really scary. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time they found out something was wrong with me, I ended up having stage 3 cancer. You see what I'm saying? And it's because my body decided to be like a vehicle and start acting up, you know? Just the wait time. And that's what's scary. Waiting.
And that's why, you know, they did do the Sjögren's antibodies, but I'm thinking in my head, why wouldn't y'all have done this April of last year when I'm telling y'all something is going on? So now not only do I have the thyroid antibodies and I have pre-diabetes, now I have the Epstein-Barr virus. And, you know, it's just, it's circulating into more and more and more and more. And she could have told me from the get-go, you know, that we can test for this, because if you don't feel something's comfortable with your body, then let's do it for you. So you don't have to wait a year to go to the rheumatologist. We can go ahead and figure that out and put you on something now.
But you know what's really scary about this is that we pay for our medical insurance. And I don't understand why the doctors, when we go in there, we explain to them what we're feeling, what we're going through, what our body's doing. And still, they act like they're paying for our medical insurance. They're not paying for our medical insurance. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I feel too, is like, do you have a contract with the, you know, with the insurance? Do not send so many patients out to these specialists, but we're paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Out of our own pocket, if not through the pocket, through your employers, if not through employers, through the state.
I think the whole doctor issue is to get you in there as many times as they can, so they can bill your insurance, so they can keep band-aiding it up, so they don't have to deal with it. So, you know, it's just a whole thing of getting paid by the insurance, getting paid from big pharma to put you on medicine. And this is why I was talking about, you know, functional medicine doctors, because they screen you from, because everybody's body functions differently, and they try to treat our body like it's the same, and it's not. And that's what functional medicine doctors do, is they have a dietitian, they have a lab person, they have every specialist there to work on you as a individual. They don't, and it's not through insurance. I mean, some insurance may take certain functional medicine doctors, but it's the fact that they work on you. Like, even if you go to China, they create medicine specific to your body, because your body is different than everybody else's.
Exactly. That's
true. That's what the thing is with when you go to doctors that accept insurance, they're going to keep trying to make you come in as many times as possible so they can bill your insurance, so they can get paid from your insurance. And every script they write, they get paid from that. So, I mean,
it's sad because I mean, I've had this illness for, first they said I had lupus, and then they said I got this, then they said I got that, and by the time I get to that, I'm already multi-diagnosed with everything known to man. It is like a list.
Yeah, and had they would have just told me, you know, well, since you can't get into the rheumatologist in over a year, almost 2 years, you know, we can go ahead and do some lab panels to go ahead and, you know, mark out A, B, and C, and D. But no, I had to keep going back and saying, this is getting worse. This is getting worse. You know, I noticed that my CRP was 17.5, which is your inflammation marker. And that means your whole body is inflamed. And I told her something was not right. And finally, I said, is there anything you can do while I'm waiting for the rheumatologist to go ahead so we can mark out certain factors? And then that's when she wanted to do a couple of tests. And that's when I noticed that I had pre-diabetes. And then I'm like, okay, well now, and then the last time I went in, I said, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to go ahead and we need to get this blood panel, this blood test, this blood test, this blood test. And that's all the results that just came in is what I just mentioned. And they're over hundreds of thousands of percentage higher than what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and what's really scary about being pre-diabetic, also, you can also have a seizure. And don't even...
Girl, I already have been dealing with seizures. Like, I take Keppra for my seizures.
But think about it, because your body's already going through something, and they didn't even test for it.
Exactly. And, you know, I don't know exactly what time and point this all started, but I know that I couldn't deal with it anymore when I went to the doctor. And that's when I started, you know... symptoms just started increasing and increasing and increasing, and I'm telling my doctor something is wrong. And my boyfriend knows I do not go to the hospital. I can't. I worked in the emergency room. I can't stand going to the emergency room, and I've been twice, and they have said, you know, my liver is 4 millimeters dilated, and you know, and then put false facts. Like I said that I didn't want to say I wanted to go home. No, that was not fact and true.
Wow.
You know, so I can't stand going to the emergency room, because their point is, if they look at you and the doctors say, is this life or death? If it's not life or death and you can live, then we're going to dismiss you. You know, we're not going to treat you for anything. We'll do some imaging, but as far as life or death, you know, you're going to make it through the night, so we're going to dismiss you.
Wow.
And that's what emergency room doctors, that's how they look at it. And, you know, unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done in the emergency room.
That's my...
So, yes. It's all going to know what to ask your doctors for. And the next episode we will talk about what blood tests. We're gonna break everything down, and just know that your symptoms are not imaginary, that your body is communicating with you for a reason, to follow your gut instinct. You're not lazy,
you're not dramatic,
and your symptoms are not imaginary.
Welcome to
Autoimmune Truths.
And don't let one dismissal stop you.
Right, because you're not lazy, you're not dramatic, and you're not weak.
And you're definitely not crazy. I don't care what anybody says. You're not crazy. They're crazy. Let's put it that way.
You deserve answers.
You really do deserve answers.
And if this episode helped you, share it with someone who keeps saying, I'm just tired.
Because sometimes just tired is the beginning of the story. 100%, I'm telling you.
Yep, this is Unhinged and Loud.
That's right, this is Unhinged and Loud, and we'll see you in the next episode.